You can fix cars if you want to, but keep one thing in mind, that if you don't wear your safety glasses, you might just end up blind. You can fix brakes if you want to, but please just use your head, 'cause if you don't put your car on jack stands, you might just end up dead. Don't take a chance, protect your hands, be careful when you're working on cars. Let's go. Hey guys, it's MJ100K, and if you couldn't tell from the introduction song, today's video is going to be about safety, okay? When I was at Toyota, they used to say safety is the door that you walk through in order to get to quality. So please take this safety video very seriously if you are a do-it-yourselfer or an aspiring mechanic. You don't want to end your mechanic career before you even get started. And these rules are especially important for you because this may be the first time that you're doing some repairs. So please be observant of these 10 tips that I'm going to be talking about with you today. Number one, you want to wear your PPE, and that's short for personal protection equipment. You want to wear your safety glasses, your gloves, and your hearing protection. For your safety glasses, things could fly up into your eye. Once when I was at Honda, I was under a car and I didn't have my safety glasses on, and transmission fluid fell right into my eye, and it feels terrible. So if you're over a car, if you're under a car, please make sure to wear your safety glasses. You can get these little smaller ones that are a little less clunky than the big giant square ones they have sometimes. So when you're cutting things, you want to use glasses that kind of wrap around, because believe it or not, when I was going to Community College of Philadelphia, one of the teachers, they were wearing safety glasses like this when they were cutting I think a part of their exhaust with a little 3-inch wheel cutter, and one of the metal pieces ricocheted and went behind these glasses here and hit him right in the eye. He had to get eye surgery. So, you don't want to become blinded from working on a car. So if you're cutting anything, make sure to wear something that wraps around a little bit. These are from DeWalt, so you can order these on Amazon. So there you go. Make sure to wear your eye protection. Your gloves, you can get some gloves like this that don't have the fingers, so you could kind of, if you need to like really feel something, or you can get the ones with the fingers, or you can get the blue ones. They got at Harbor Freight, the little ones that like doctors wear, the plastic ones. Whatever you get, make sure to wear your gloves though at all times, because used motor oil is considered to be cancer causing from the state of California. That's what I heard. So, when we work on cars, I've been guilty of this too. You work on a car, you get all the terrible used motor oil under your fingers, and then you might forget to wash your hands and you go eat or something, or even you wash your hands, but that used motor oil is still under your fingertips and you end up eating. You don't want to be eating this stuff that is cancer causing. I'm crossing my fingers that I don't get cancer from all this stuff I used to work with. So please use that. Also, your hearing protection. If you are using an air tool that's really loud, make sure to wear your hearing protection. You don't want to go deaf before you even finish your career. All right, so that is number one, PPE. Number two, well, it's 1 and 2 is safety glasses and gloves. Number 3, jack stands. Okay, this is a jack stand I've used. I got this even before I became a mechanic, and I've been using it. It still works. Make sure to use your jack stands, people. I'm going to put a link to a good video I saw on YouTube about how to set up your jack stands. I didn't have time to make one myself. Check out this video. It's by another YouTuber. I don't know him personally, but I felt his video was pretty good. The only thing I'd add to the video, I like to use a little block of wood between the jack and the vehicle. It kind of keeps, sometimes those pinch welds underneath the car, they could get bent if you jack them up a lot. So I like to put a little piece of wood that kind of prevents that a little bit. And also if sometimes they're kind of worn away a little bit and they get rusty, so and they fall apart. So this kind of helps that. Also, before you set up a jack, make sure to look under the car, make sure there's no brake lines or fuel lines where you're putting the jack. Those are the only things that I would add to the video that I'm going to put the link on. So this is my jack stand. This is like a door last. All these jack stands look the same to me. You can get the bigger ones there. The bigger the better. It's going to give you more power. But they all look pretty much the same to me. But don't use the like a scissor jack that comes with the car. You know, it kind of looks like scissors. They had a nickname for those in the tech school I went to. They called them the Widowmaker. So they are known for twisting and just falling, and you don't want to be underneath a car when it falls, believe me. I'll put another link in the description. If you don't believe me, just YouTube search car falls off jack, okay? Cars fall off jacks all the time. Make sure to use the jack stand, so if they do fall off, they're already supported by the jack stands in case the jack gives away. I like to leave the jack partially, just still attached, and the jack stand is there too. You can even you can put a tire underneath the car too to support it, in addition to, not in place of, the jack stand. So if there's anything you get from my videos, it is that you must use jack stands anytime you jack up a car. You also don't want to jack it on like an incline or on like gravel or dirt or something. You have to be very important with that. So please repeat after me. I state your name. Will never get underneath of a car without it being supported by a jack stand. Okay, if there's anything you get from my videos, it is to do that every single time. Every time. No jack stand, don't get under the car. That's it. Don't even jack it up. I mean, just go get the jack stand. Is not that much money. That should be the first thing on your mind anytime you're putting a car in the air. So that is that. Number 4 is going to be remove all rings, watches, and necklaces or chains, any type of jewelry. Okay, I don't care if it's a wedding ring. I don't care if the Pope gave you the ring. I don't care if the ring came down from outer space aliens. Take off this ring anytime you work on a car. If it's metal or plastic or whatever, they're usually metal. And the problem with that is there are wires under the car, you know, going to the alternator or the starter that are live. Okay, they're live. And when you put a ring in between, like let's say the wire is nicked a little bit and you accidentally reach your finger under there and you contact the ground, all that power from the battery, that's enough power to start the car, is going to be going through the ring that's attached to your finger, and it's going to get extremely hot and it's probably going to melt. So you don't want rings melting into your flesh, okay? It's a very, very terrible situation if that were ever to happen. So remove all your rings, watches, necklaces, and chains. If you have a hoodie on, tie up these little strings. You know, you don't want to be leaning over the S belt and the car's on and it sucks you in there. Make sure to be very careful with all that stuff, guys, please. So that's number 4. Number 5 is when you're using wrenches or ratchets, try to pull them towards you instead of pushing them. Because when you're pushing them, you could accidentally slip and now your hand is going full force towards some metal part of the car, and the car is going to win and is going to cut your hand all up, or even worse. So make sure to try to pull wrenches towards you, because if they slip and if it goes towards you, worst thing that happen is you'll punch yourself in the face. But you know, it'll be better than punching an alternator bracket full force with your fist, and the alternator bracket's going to win, believe me. So that's number 6. Oh no, that's number 5. Number 6 is similar. This is something I'm guilty of a million times. Try not to stab yourself with picks or screwdrivers or anything. You know, sometimes you're trying to push something and push something with your right hand and your left hand's in the way and you slip and you just, you end up stabbing yourself right in the hand. So believe me, you don't want to do that, because when you're working with your hands all day, if you have an injury to your hand, it is it makes work really uncomfortable and really like you want to go home and heal, but you can't because you got to keep working. So you got all these band-aids on your hand, and it's not fun, believe me. Number 7, as far as light goes, you definitely need to have your light. I have a light here is DeWalt. I have a similar one from Snap-on as well. Make sure you have your light. It's very difficult to work on anything if you can't see it. And if you are working outside, if you're not working in a shop, make sure to plan your day so that the light you have the sunlight outside. Like, you don't want to start working on a vehicle and the sun's going down at 6 and you start at 4 or 5. So then you're scrambling and try to get everything done before the sun goes down. And even if you have a portable light, it's not enough. So try to start early in the day if you're working on cars outside, like I used to do all the time and still do sometimes. So that is number 7. Number 8, and if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you're going to be able to do this. Let the car cool down all the way. I'm going to give you a couple reasons why you don't want to work on a hot vehicle. I'll tell you a couple stories. The first one is from me. I was working on a vehicle while I was at work, and I had my hand, it was kind of in front of a radiator. I was reaching for something, and I felt something super hot, and I said, ah! And you don't even think about it. Instinctively, I just pulled my arm up real quick. I ended up ripping part of the lettering off of my tattoo, and I had to get it redone because all the ink was gone. Like, I ripped the skin so deep that the tattoo ink was gone. I had to heal, and then I had to get it the tattoo redone. So if you value your tattoos, let your car cool down all the way. They make these like sleeves you can get that'll help you, but if you're a do-it-yourself guy or girl, you can let the car cool down all the way. Another story, which is even worse, I worked with a mechanic, and he was older, he's a Caucasian gentleman. He came to work, and his face was like purple. I was like, what happened to your face? He said, he had a lift at his house in the garage. He said, I was working on this car, and one of the coolant hoses, I don't know if it slipped off or if it burst, but all this hot coolant came down right onto his face. And his face was like that for like a week or so, and it would heal, but it started to peel, and it looked terrible, and I can't imagine how painful it was. So it's very serious. The temperatures of these fluids in the car, they get very, very hot. So you don't want stuff bursting over your face. If you have to be under a car and it's hot, you might want to invest in some type of face shield. I know you might look like a weirdo and you're the only one in the garage doing it, but you'll be the one whose face doesn't turn purple. So make sure to do that. Another thing about working on a hot car is if you are doing a tune-up and the car is hot, you could strip out the threads from the spark plugs, and if you do that, it is going to be a very difficult repair. You can get this thing called a Healy coil, but even some of those have issues because a little part of the coil sticks down into the combustion chamber and can get hot, and it could cause like detonation and pre-ignition. So you don't want to work on a car, especially even if you're in a shop. You have to let it cool down all the way. You could put some fans on it, open the hood, but be very careful when you're doing that. So if you're at home, you can let the car cool down all the way, like cool to the touch. Like everything is just ice cold. So make sure to do that. Number 9 is with your back. You want to make sure to lift things with your legs and not bend over and pull them up like that. Especially tires. Tires are like extremely heavy. So if you are working in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years, at the end of it, you do not want to be the cranky 50, 55, 60-year-old mechanic whose back is completely shot because he's been picking up tires wrong his whole career. I'm going to make a video about how to, some quick things you can do for working on tires that can make it a little bit easier on your back, but for now, for do-it-yourselfers, you might not need that information right now. But anyway, make sure to value your back. Don't pick up heavy things. And please believe me, back pain is some of the worst pain you will ever feel in life. some people will end up getting hooked on medications because their back is hurting so bad. So please avoid that. Let people call you a punk. Let people call you a weakling. Who cares what they think? Your back needs to stay intact for your whole life, okay? Never pick up something heavy. 20-inch car rims are extremely heavy. Get somebody to help you, but I'll make a video about that in the future. Number 10, don't try to catch heavy stuff when it falls. Just let it fall. Just let it break. Sometimes parts, I've heard a couple stories of somebody's trying to lift the transmission or engine into a car or down into a car, and it slips, and they're trying to grab it before it. Let it fall. Let it break. Because you know what? I swear, I work with 2 mechanics who were missing part of their fingers. Okay, it is not a joke. I'm talking like this is their finger. It's their finger. All this is gone. So you got 4 fingers and 1 partial finger. You don't want that, okay? We all love cars. We like working on them, but you know what? I love my fingers as well. So if it comes down to a transmission breaking and me having 10 full fingers, the fingers are going to win, okay? I need my fingers, all of them. So don't try to catch stuff. Try not to get it pinched in certain areas, whatever. Make sure you do that. And this is my bonus tip for today. This bonus tip is something I was thinking about. If you're working on your car at home or on the side of the road or whatever in somebody else's garage, make sure to have somebody else with you. Okay, don't work on a car alone, especially when you're first starting out, because if something happens and you get crushed under a car, there's going to be nobody to help you, and you might not be able to get out. So this is very important. For research for this video, I Googled car falls off jack, and I found like 1 million videos, but I clicked on one of them, and in the comments section, one of the people, they were saying, yeah, same thing happened to me, or my friend, I was with him, the car fell off of him, fell right on him, he was under the car doing an oil change, crushed 3 of his ribs, the car is just sitting on his chest. He would have suffocated if I had not been there to help him to lift the car with the jack, reattach the jack and lift this car off of him. And you know, if you're under a car like this, you can't get to your cell phone, okay? You're trapped. So make sure to have somebody with you, even if they don't know anything about cars, even if they're just sitting there on their cell phone, have somebody with you when you're working on the car, okay? Even if you're going to the junkyard, go with a friend. Even if they're a friend who doesn't even like cars, go with somebody, okay? You never know what can happen. I don't care if it's a 1 out of 100 chance. That is too much of a chance to take with your safety. So let's think about all these things, guys. Make sure to be safe when you're working on a vehicle. I'm just going to end it here, guys, and I'm just going to say, please be safe when you're working on cars. Sent out 3 of the 5 bags that from the last video. 2 of the people haven't responded in the comments yet with their email addresses, so I'm waiting on that to send them their bags. For all the guys I sent out tools, congratulations. But please listen to these safety tips, okay? I don't want to send you tools and then find out that you got hurt, and that would make me super sad. So, or anybody. I don't want people getting hurt. I want us to work on these vehicles and have fun. So those are my tips for today. I'm going to be moving. So I will have access to my friend's garage. So we can actually I'm going to start doing some videos actually showing you me fixing stuff. And anyway, that's enough for me jibber jabbering. Please be safe, like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.